Muy buenas tardes, mi raza. Today is Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. Y aquí les traigo otro episodio de Comadreando aquí con café. I guess today, Tuesday the 13th, que hay algo de suerte, good luck, bad luck, I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it. I'm gonna eventually get to it. I'm still stuck on Valentine's Day, so I don't know. I'm gonna try to give you guys some stories related to Valentine's Day. So today will be day 1 of Valentine's. Yes, I know que mañana es el día, pero why not just do the rest of the week, right? So como siempre, quiero empezar con mis saludos. Hi, Mom. Hi to everybody who tunes in and listens to me, watches me, or just gives me attention, period. I appreciate it so much. So yes, like I said, Valentine's Day. I hope you didn't go break the bank trying to buy Valentine's Day gifts for people. You know, it's really actually the thought that counts. You know, I always throw it out there. At least gas station chocolates make my day. I don't know, you know, that's just me. I'm very simple. Send me a text and I'm happy. That's it, you know. Pero a bonus is always a bonus. Don't take me wrong, you know. A nice pair of shoes is always gladly accepted. Size 7, by the way, just in case, you know, for future reference. This year, I am completely the Grinch of Valentine's Day. If that's a thing, I am it. I'm being a hater. I'm not buying nobody anything, so I am very sorry, but if I'm not loved, I'm not loving nobody back. Okay, I'm playing, pero yeah, nah, you know, usually we skip out on the whole Valentine's Day and we make a weekend out of it. Usually it's before Valentine's Day or after. I've been really sick again, so I didn't have time to plan ahead. Usually I do scavenger hunts for my girls. We had a funeral and the whole viewing and everything this past weekend as well, so it kind of just killed my time with all that stuff. So we'll be celebrating this weekend. So let's get into the story, guys. Okay, like I mentioned, I'll be giving you guys 5 days of Valentine's. Today is day 1. Y pues, it goes to show that not all love is good love. Not all people are good in the head. But, yeah, dejé les cuento lo ocurrido, and then, you know, you come to conclusion and make your own theory en lo que pasó. So we're going back, guys. Back into time. The year is 1971. We are in Orange County, North Carolina. You're probably like, what the heck are you talking about now? You know, I always come up with these off the wall stories for you guys. So yes, we are in North Carolina. It is Valentine's Day, 1971. All right, guys. So this story is about a girl named Patricia Mann, double N at the end. She's a 20-year-old nursing student. Okay? She is in this very difficult nursing program. She lives at a dorm. They have hands-on training, so she actually gets to do as she does. So, in other words, hands-on, like I said, training in an actual hospital by the name of Watts. So, Watts Hospital is where she does studying, internship. Like I said, it is very difficult. Muchas veces she's been wanting to quit, like she just wants to throw in the towel and like, man. But her boyfriend keeps telling her, no, just keep going, it'll be good. You know, he's a supporting, loving guy, so he's there for her, encouraging her all the way. So now we talk about her boyfriend slash fiance. His name is Jesse Mcbane. He is 19 years old, and he is her high school boyfriend. They've been together a long time. You know, he goes to the University of North Carolina. He's a freshman there. You know, he's always been the jock type, athletic, really popular, super smart. He was actually voted most likely to succeed. They are the perfect couple together. They're newly engaged, so they're off doing the whole lovey-dovey thing. And it's just one of those things like, wow, the match made in heaven pretty much. You got the jock, you got the girl with the brains. They're both doing really good, big things to have a good future for themselves. So you might be wondering right now, what can possibly go wrong? Let's get into the chain of events. So it is February 12, 1971. Y hay un Valentine dance at the Watts Hospital where Patricia attends. So of course they made plans. They wanted to go. Who doesn't? It's their sweethearts. It's a nice loving holiday for lovebirds and all that stuff. So I guess she needed to make an appearance, and so they did. Well, they go to this dance. They made an evening out of it. Bien a gusto, bien vestidos. They laughed, danced, hung out with other people, and by 11:30-ish, they headed on out. Now, I don't know if she had mentioned to her friend before, or if it's just something they used to do, Patricia and Jesse, but they drove out to a secluded area que se llamaba Lover's Lane. Pues para estar en paz y a solas, right? Of course. So yeah, they drove out there, they parked out there, and now this is where things get ugly. Very ugly. So the next morning, February 13th, comes along, and one of Patricia's roommates knows that something is horribly wrong. Patricia never came to sleep. First of all, she wasn't that kind of girl. Even if it was Valentine's, she would not stay out all late and not let her know I'm not coming home tonight or whatever. So this friend right away knew, something's up. She even made a comment to the paper then that she had a sinking feeling que algo no estaba bien. Okay, same thing happens with Jesse. The guys at his dorm start noticing que no llegó aquel. They didn't think much of it because, obviously he was out with his girl. They went out to this dance, whatever. Patricia's friends did make a report to the police. They said, hey, she didn't come home. Something is up. The police said it was too soon to make a report, too soon to start investigating anything. They're adults. Maybe they're just out, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the police says that. Well, Patricia's friend wasn't having it. A couple friends started their own search and started investigating, started questioning people in the area. Hey, have you seen so-so, blah, blah, blah. The roommate ends up driving out herself to the Lover's Lane, and that is where she finds Patricia's car. Nobody's in the car. Está el carro parqueado, laqueado. Nothing looks out of place. It's just weird that the car is out of place. Why is it here? So she calls the police and tells them, I found the car. It is out here in the woods by Lover's Lane, blah, blah, blah. I guess it was an area that they would frequently hang out at. Obviously, he's in the dorm. She's in the dorm. That was their only quiet, alone place, Well, the police came. They started to search the area, started their investigation. They said nothing was out of place, nothing looked weird, that they would wait it out and see if maybe these two would appear. I don't know, maybe they thought they eloped, I don't know, but the police didn't think nothing of it. The only thing they did find very, very strange is que el carro had been wiped down of all or any fingerprints. Meaning not even Patricia's were there or Jesse's was there. The car was super clean, locked, intact. Nothing looked missing, nothing looked out of place. The floor, the area, nothing looked like there had been a struggle. Todo estaba bien. People kept, haciendo escándalo, because what the hell is wrong with this couple? Where did they go? The newspaper got involved. Now it was a situation of possible abduction. So everybody's on edge. The couple, each of their parents were informed. Everybody's on the know. The town is just trying to make a suspect out of anybody. What the heck is going on? The newspapers are circulating. This is something of a mystery. If they would have eloped, they would have communicated by now. Hey, ha ha ha, we did something dumb, whatever, we're so in love, ya nos casamos. Nothing like this happened. People were sitting on the edge of their seat for days, and days passed by. Uno, otro y otro, nobody heard from them still. Along comes February 25th, 2 semanas after the whole disappearance. There's a surveyor working in a wooded area, which at that time was private property. So as he's doing his work, está mirando, echando ojo de allí para allá y de aquí para allá, mira una pierna popping out of leaves. From a distance, he thought, what the heck is a mannequin doing out here? I'm supposing he probably giggled a little bit within himself, whatever, haha. What the heck is going on? So he starts walking towards this tree where all these leaves are. Because he wanted to go see what the heck is this leg I'm looking at. Like, who would put this here? He thought maybe it was a joke. I don't know. The closer he's getting to this huge tree, he starts seeing that there's actual definition of something under these leaves. When he goes ahead and actually gets right to it, he finds both bodies tied to the tree. They had Patricia, they had Jesse, they had tied their arms behind their back, went around the tree and finished the knot on their neck. Each were tied up the same exact way, and they had another rope around the entire tree and both their bodies. So when the man made way with these leaves and all this trash of that sort que estaba allí, he seen the bodies were slumped over together, side by side. Y pues, he discovered it ain't a freaking mannequin, it's two dead bodies. The two people they've been looking for. So, of course, he calls it in. So now, guys, comes the challenging, hardest part of this situation. Where they had found the car, right? Lover's Lane. That was over in Durham County, where the abduction took place, kidnapping, whatever you want to call it. This is miles away. It isn't next door. It's not a walk away. This is across the other side of freaking town, 2 towns over. They found the bodies around this tree in Orange County, North Carolina. Like I said, it is a far distance to have walked. So now it's like, what the heck happened? What is going on here? So these 2 bodies are completely dressed. No están, encuerados. No, nada. Their jewelry are in place. Jesse has his wallet. There's no money missing. Nada. They even had their shoes on still. They were all muddy and stuff. Okay, so right away the police ruled out robbery. They said, well, they weren't killed, murdered, or any of that to rob them. Obviously, they didn't take their car because they parked it over there. This goes back to kidnapping. What could be the motive? ¿Quién hizo esto? Right? They're sitting like, what the heck? So, the bodies, both, were not sexually assaulted in any way. There is no evidence that they try to remove any piece of clothing for that matter. So, now starts the chismes. The people, hey, maybe it was the doctor that was always checking Patricia out over at Watts Hospital. So now it's like, was this a love interest? A love triangle? What happened? So let's go back to the scene of when they found the car, okay? There was no signs of a struggle. There was no signs of any kind of anything on the floor. But then yet there is no fingerprints. So now it's like whoever their attacker was, obviously they knew him. Because they didn't put up a fight. Or maybe the attacker had a gun and was giving strict orders. Get off, you get off, turn around. You know, when you're in a vulnerable situation like that, and somebody has a gun, and your life is literally flashing in front of your eyes, of course you're gonna sit here and do as you're told, right? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's how the attacker was even able to wipe this car clear of any or all fingerprints. Who knows? Only Patricia and Jesse knows what happened that night. So as this time's passing by and they're, still looking into the case, this and that, the police would only release a statement saying that they had 2 persons of interest. One was a doctor. Another one was a man that actually lived in that area where they found the bodies. The police wouldn't release why they thought these 2 people were persons of interest. They would release no information, period. All they said was, we have 2 people of interest. At this point, all the information everybody knew was that obviously this attacker knew this remote area very, very well. How were you able to take a couple, 2 people, into this wooded area, have enough time to murder them, tie them up, and have them sitting there for 2 weeks before they were actually discovered? That was just the only one clue that they all had. They're sticking to it, so I'm assuming that's why they thought maybe the man that lived in the area was a person of interest. I don't know how he got intertwined with this whole case, but that's what it was. Now, when the medical examiners released the whole autopsy and this and that, what they had found estaba bien feo. Lo que encontraron estaba bien, bien feo. This couple suffered horribly when they were killed. Okay, from what he says, they reported, each one of them was strangled to the point of unconsciousness, no podían respirar, and all of a sudden they were able to catch their breath. The rope was released, catch your breath, come back to life, blah, 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 and let me pull you again. They're not sure exactly how many times they kept strangling them with this rope, taking oxygen away from them, but that was the number 1 cause of death. That was it. They ruled it out. It was strangulation, lack of oxygen. They couldn't breathe. Now, both of them on their chest had a bunch of stab wounds, which the medical examiner says were inflicted. So se los hicieron después de que estaban ya muertos, post-mortem. Who would do this? I don't know. If you already see they're dead, why do you want to overkill and super kill and stab some more? That is somebody that's seriously, seriously deranged, right? So the only difference they did notice with these 2 bodies, right, was that Patricia had 1/2 inch tear on her liver. They're saying she was either kicked very hard, punched very hard. The thing is, she was hit super hard with an unknown, they don't know what it was, but it was so hard that it tore her liver 1/2 inch. Imagine the excruciating pain this poor muchacha went through. On top of being scared, on top of being teased for air, still with the pain of your liver busted open. Wow, like, this attacker sí que no tuvo madre. Like, how can you do that to somebody? Not being able to prove anything, this case went cold. All they had was 2 persons of interest, no proof, no more clues, nada. That's it. It went cold, like every other cold case does. That's why they're cold cases, right? So In 2011, okay, we're gonna forward 40 years. The same detective that was working that original case back in 1971 just so happened to look at the case again. He opened it up and he came on a box of evidence that was discarded then. No le hicieron caso, they didn't even look what it was. So he was looking through it and reading through things and everything. You know, obviously at this point, all you had left were very gruesome photographs that were taken the day they found the bodies, and puros files, notes, papers, that's it. So, de casualidad, coincidentally, one of Patricia's primas called in. He happened to answer that phone call, and she wanted an update. Hey, you know, what's going on with my cousin's case? It's been 40 years. Nadie está moviendo el tapete. Nada. Like, what is going on? He was, like, excited that he had just found this evidence a couple days ago, and now she's calling, so it's like 2 and 2 together. This is a sign, like, we gotta keep pushing. So he, along with the prima, petitioned to the sheriff to reopen this case. Y el sheriff dijo, claro, vámonos, let's see what we find. Maybe something can crack this time. So the detective Horn, that was his name, was real excited because there is this new machine called a MVAC. Yes, it's exactly like it sounds, una vacuum. Now, there's only 40 of these machines nationwide. So the purpose of them is to suck up DNA from very complicated areas. So considering they had all the ropes that they took off of Patricia and Jesse, still conserved, put away like good Ziploc tight, airtight, however you want to refer to it, he had a really good feeling that they would catch DNA here and they would be able to finally rule out who did what to this poor couple. So these ropes had a lot of knots on them. So it's a good thing, right? You're making knots, you're constantly touching. That's excellent. At this point, there's only one person left of interest. But they know exactly his whereabouts. So no big deal. Detective Horn was like, we will run these through the database. It does take a month to get results, but we will take it from there. Meanwhile, obviously the families were informed, hey, we reopened the case, we have this MVAC, this new technology, we're gonna run this again, blah, blah, blah. At that time, newspapers and everybody, the news was trying to talk to Patricia's parents and Jesse's parents. They each didn't want to talk about it. They say, you know what, it's been so long, this case just haunts us, like just leave us alone and let's see what comes out of it. They had no comment, they didn't want to speak on it. Time goes by, there's no matches, there's nothing. So again, they are at a dead end with this case. No hay que investigar. So we're gonna forward now to 2020, to the year 2020. They still have the doctor as the main and only person of interest at this point. They asked him for a DNA sample and he lawyered up. He said, Nel, nope, hell no, I ain't giving you nothing. Turns out back in 1971, he was asked to take a lie detector test. He lawyered up then too. So they didn't pursue with that because obviously rights and blah, blah, blah. What is this guy hiding? Why does he not want to take a lie detector test? Why is he refusing to give a DNA test? If you didn't do nothing, what are you scared of, right? Pues raza, con eso estamos. There's no new evidence to obtain anywhere. All they can do is reevaluate every picture taken, read every file, every note that was written, every person that had something to say, you know, witnesses, statements. That's it. It has been 53 years to the date. 53. Y nada, nada. They are still the forever Valentines. What else can you say? Nada. No information, no person arrested, cold case. From the looks of it, sadly, así va a quedar. Just a cold case. This is by far the most sad and unfortunate romantic story I have ever read. Romantic in the sense that their love was just so big they went together, you know? And I'm sitting here looking through pictures, and I read this on different forums and different searches that came up and stuff like that. And it's crazy because the story says she was 20 and he was 19 years old. Now, check this out. Her birthday was February 6th. That means she had just turned 20 years old. His birthday would have been the 15th. So he was literally 3 days away from officially being 19 years old. They were exactly 1 year apart, and they died the same exact day. Isn't that so much coincidence? If you guys checked out my last episode about the paradox of death, what does it say? If you were meant to go, you will go either on or a few weeks before or a few weeks after your birthday. I'm not saying it was a good way to go. Heck no, it was painful, it was sad, obviously senseless, since nobody was able to find any motive. Why them? Pero se fueron juntos, you know, and being engaged in everything, the way they were so in love. They were just so in love. They celebrated life together, what would have been Jesse's life together, and death together. So that's something to really think about. Was it fate? You decide, guys. Drop me a comment. Let's talk. That's what I have for you guys today, Raza. Have a beautiful holiday. Love each other. Make yourselves feel special. If you're alone, trust. Your time will come. There's a bigger plan for you. No se agüiten. It's better to be alone que mal acompañados. Always remember that. Better being alone than in the wrong company. Alright guys, ahí los dejo. Los adoro. Bye.